Your undies are
There's
out,
a little
bro.
bit of short shorts going on over here. I mean, you sag down a
Hike it
little
up.
bit.
Hike it up.
What kind of
See some
rabbit?
leg.
Unlike you, Charles, I don't have the confidence to just blast my thighs out to the world.
I mean, look how tan they are. How could you? I mean, like
You
fried hot
are
dogs over here.
Really tan. Like, you don't get the weird tan lines. Like, my knees are dark and then my thighs are like
I get the
white.
weird. I do. Have
You get that
weird-
gradient?
No.
Barely.
I've had a good summer this summer.
Barely. Charles has been spending too many weekends at Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
I spent like
Between-
5 hours on Alex's boat, and I came back looking like a lobster. There's no way you guys are getting those nice tans. I'm so
No,
jealous.
it's bullshit. Jillian and I, Charles's wife, were working and we're on set, and then Charles comes up in his swim trunks. They got like little alligators on them or something.
Nice. Total
he
vibe.
rolls up to set and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just dropping off batteries. I'm heading Splash Mountain." I'm like, Charles, he's just living his best life over
I'm
here.
going swimming.
Going swimming.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the vibes of set.
Go to the
I'm
water
gonna go enjoy the
slide.
summer.
Well, it's been a
Great.
minute, boys. We
Yeah.
are back. We took a little break. Unfortunately, we've done this before. We said we weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
What did we do?
We did it.
We did
did
it.
it.
But, I mean, our excuse, I think this was a mental health break. I think we can all agree. Alex has been really annoying lately, and we needed a little break, right? So, I mean, come on.
Sorry,
it's like,
guys.
I mean, we weren't going to say it like that, but since you put it out there, Alex, yeah, that was kind of why.
Yeah, that's
we
kinda
didn't
why
hit you
we
up
did
for a
it.
while.
Every 3
Yeah.
months, you guys need a month off from me. That's okay. I need it too.
No, we've been busy. I mean, you were doing some bee stuff. We
Yep.
were doing some movie stuff. Alex was doing some sign on the side of the road stuff.
I got a lot of money.
yeah.
You probably made more money than us, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Homeless filmmaker. Please donate.
But no, we're here. We're back, baby. We're not going to let that happen again.
yeah.
We are going to stay with our consistency and our goal of no breaks.
Yeah.
No breaks.
Consistency is king, dude. So, we're here to make it happen.
But let's talk about what we've been up to.
Yeah, dude.
Charles.
I've been at the water park apparently a lot.
No, hold up. One thing I will point out.
We did a whole
Living.
feature film together before the water park. Okay.
I know what he's been up to because I've been on my little FPV simulator on my computer, right? Trying to get better at drone. Well, that's powered through Steam. So anytime any of my Steam friends log on, it pops right up with what they're playing. This guy's been on Helldivers 2 nonstop for like 3 weeks, man. I see it every single day, bro.
But
If only.
Just diving.
If only.
No, I don't know why my mind's drawing a blank. We did 2 movies. What was the first one?
We already talked about that one.
Did we? What was it called?
Yeah. Remember how we were supposed to have Nathan on with us?
We talked about it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We definitely talked about it.
It's done been talked about, guys.
So the
What
only
was it
movie we have,
called?
I don't remember. The only movie we haven't talked about is War Driver, and then your guys' show in Vegas.
Very good.
That's it? That's all we've been doing, and we took a month-and-a-half break?
Yeah.
Guys.
Well, the movie was a month.
The movie was a month.
The movie was a
We
month.
had
That
3
was,
days off, and then we went to 4 days off, and we went to Vegas. Then we got back.
What did we do before that movie, though? That was the Nathan movie?
right before it. It was literally like right.
Weren't we
before
working on the coffee truck?
I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay. Well, let's talk about Freedom Fest. We were out in Vegas.
Yeah, dude.
We had some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? What was Freedom Fest? What
Um,
is Freedom Fest? Because like when we got the job, I'll be honest, I didn't even know what it was.
I
Yeah.
absolutely had no clue. I don't know why. I was just like, oh, Freedom Fest. Like, to me, it didn't sound political. But
That's what they
I
call the July 4th party in Provo. They call that Freedom Fest, right?
True.
So, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
my
that's
expectations were very much...
Mine was
yeah.
just American flags,
Yeah.
American people,
100%.
freedom kind of
100%.
thing.
America.
Not a bad thing, but we probably should have done a little bit more research. I think we were prepared, like with our setup and what we were called to do, which we brought our 6K Blackmagic Studios with the switcher. We did a full like studio style interview on their main stage. We were just pumping out edits. Super rad event, but definitely like threw us off a little bit because we didn't know it was politics. So like when we got there, we were like, oh, okay, this is what we were doing. But to our, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, but we were very, I guess, happy to find out that at this Freedom event, it was very much just like, you could almost call it like open-minded event.
Totally.
Think freely event, speak your mind, freedom of speech event. Like it wasn't left, it wasn't right, it wasn't, anything more than just like come and speak on an open platform about what you're feeling or thinking towards
Freedom.
which was cool. Like they had everything from like people there who like grew magic mushrooms and sold kits for you to grow your own at your home, from buying property in other countries, from fixing our taxes in this country to our presidential debates. Like it was gold,
Lot of gold.
currencies,
Yeah, people trying to fight inflation with gold currency. Yeah.
Bitcoin, like all that stuff.
AI, crypto.
AI, there were AI boosts there of people talking about what AI is doing to our freedoms, how it's helping, how it's not helping. They had panels where people were debating like pro-life versus non-pro-life, and like it was cool.
It was really cool.
It was cool to just sit in a room and be like, wait, people aren't fighting.
Yeah.
We're just talking about this and we can be human. Like,
Yeah,
that was cool.
People are just genuinely expressing opposing ideas in a format that everyone is like safe and happy and there to listen and be eager about what's going on instead of like fighting, you know? Like you had like Rob Schneider, you know, world famous comedian, coming out, and what is he talking about? Freedom of speech and how it relates to comedy. Right? What can be said, what can't be said, cancel culture, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate anymore. He's got to scrub his scripts with Adam Sandler for months before they could even grab a camera and think about filming this thing. And so, yeah, like talking about the way that things are different right now. But one of the beautiful things I think is like they set things up to have discussions for you. So like you'd have like Steven Pinker, who's a cognitive scientist from Harvard, a little bit more of a left-leaning individual. And you had Lord Matt Ridley, who's more of a right-leaning individual.
Yeah.
And they had a discussion called Brain Food. You're literally eating your lunch and listening to them have like a philosophical debate. Like so cool. Just
That's
seriously
pretty cool.
enjoying the different
cool.
perspectives.
And so
that's
you
what made
guys were
Freedom Fest
there
popular.
filming what?
So our main job was to film interviews. So as all these influencers or people with
Figures,
following,
public figures,
yeah,
yeah.
public figures, as they were coming through the event, there were some main interviewers that Freedom Fest hired, and our job was to document that, create social around it, and get it out to the public.
Cool.
As well as we did some highlight pieces where we shot some like B-roll and highlighty stuff. We wish we had a little bit more info going into it, knowing how important the breakout sessions were.
Yeah.
It was talked to us about how important the interviews were, and that was our main focus. But it almost feels like now kind of on the back end that the breakouts were a big part of what they wanted on social. And so we came up with some really cool strategies and ideas for next year of how to better like implement that for them. But I'm excited already for next year.
Yeah,
Like, it was
me
a cool
too.
event and like great food. One thing we didn't take advantage of that I wish we did was like the morning yoga.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't just a conference center. You walk in with your badge, hit your 30 boosts and go home. It was like everything from yogas to jazz parties at night. And it was like a community for you to meet people and like actually get out and do things with people that had common mindsets. But
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool, man. Like, I definitely agree to what you said about going into it expecting that like interviews is the majority of our scope, and then finding out that the breakout sessions ended up being like a little bit more, have a little more weight to them, right? That was a big learning lesson for us. 50-50 for sure.
50 interviews, 50 breakout.
I was
or
expecting like 70-30.
I was expecting 80-20.
Dang.
Like
Yeah.
80 interviews,
Yeah.
20 of that.
Yeah,
And
we'll just
so-
send them off, get a couple shots, come back in real quick, and really have our focus be that. So
No, it's like we need a whole team next year just for the
that.
breakout sessions, especially when we had 2 or 3 breakouts going
Yeah.
at one time where we had 6 to 9 cameras shooting at one time. It was like,
and we learned how to be clever and cover for each other, right? Like I was in the middle of an edit, but then like one of the breakouts got missed. I'd have to like drop my edit, go help that, and then Alex would need to come back early from a breakout to help you with something that was going on at the interview. And so like we just really had to have our heads on a swivel. Like we could not be in our own routine of like just in your own world. Like we really had to be synced up and connected as a team to get it done.
yeah.
So
We're
I don't know.
proud of the team. I mean, let's be honest. You're in Vegas. You got all those temptations to do everything you're not supposed to do. And we stayed on it. We all were in bed by 9 and up by 6, which I'm going to be honest, done many jobs out in Vegas. And there's always that one person in the crew
that gets fired.
That gets fired. This is their per diem for all
All
black per
black.
diem
I
the
thought it
first
stays in
night.
Vegas. I thought what happened in Vegas stays there. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, this is hypothetically. But no, proud of the team. We did great. They were extremely pleased with everything, rolling with the punches. Like, our team did really good. And we already got invited back for next year. So that's all you could ever ask for, I think, in a job. My biggest goal, and honestly how I view other production companies, is are they working with a company consistently?
totally. Do they have retainers? Yeah.
A lot of people in this world work with one brand, one company, one time, and that's it.
Yeah.
And to me, I think if you're a company that's working with a brand multiple years in a row, multiple commercials in a row, multiple movies in a row, that speaks way bigger than just pumping out a bunch of random stuff, right?
Totally.
People like to work with you, so yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe one of the biggest things that we learned was that, like, and it totally makes sense in retrospect, but, like, literally one of your main responsibilities was just managing relationships. Like, making sure that the people at Freedom Fest had what they needed, making sure that we had what we needed, making sure the interviewers had what they needed. Like, we literally just needed someone just managing relationships. Like,
Well, and
because
that's
that
the thing
impression, that work with the
Charles and
client
I-
matters a lot.
Charles and I talk about this a lot, and it's the biggest struggle with Happy Rabbit and kind of where we're at is like, at what point is it small band, or at what point are we fully producing
Totally.
and hiring out A to Z?
Yeah.
And these jobs kind of fall right in the middle,
Mhm.
where a lot of people are wearing multiple hats, and that's one that I found myself struggling with a
Yeah.
little bit. Was like, how do I be the producer,
Mm-hmm.
but also be the DP shooter kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so there were a few times where, like, literally people were walking up to us as I'm shooting an interview and, like, on the live switcher, and they're like, hey, can we hire you for our event? We have something similar coming up in 3 months. And I'm like, yeah, we're Happy Rabbit.
Hand him a card.
I
keep
literally
switching. Yeah.
like hand a card over
Mhm.
the back of my head. I'm like, follow us on Instagram. We'll get back to you. And they're just like, yeah. When if I would have been there with like
Yeah, more presence.
and something to hand out to them.
Yeah.
And
Here's
speak
my
with
phone
them for 10
number. Let's
minutes.
chat.
Yeah.
What do you need us for?
Get a small quote on what they need.
We
Right.
probably
Yeah, yeah.
could have got 5 to 10 other jobs out of that job.
Yeah.
One of which, there's a gentleman who owned properties in other countries and was creating communities in other countries for people to invest into, not only for vacation properties but second living.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to us about going out to Belize and all these places to film these communities and make kind of a video around what he's doing. And I'm like, yeah. But I wish I could have talked to that dude
Right.
for like 30 minutes and got more.
Yeah.
And like,
Had like a follow-up meeting scheduled with him or something.
yeah. So I think that's something
We missed out on some prime networking.
I
It's
didn't
true.
take into consideration.
So what you're saying is that we're not going
It's not locked
anywhere
in.
cool.
Somewhere cool. There's a guy
You
who
know
made
what?
his own
This is on the
country.
table.
Yeah.
It's
If
not-
Charles,
it's not-
if
going on.
Charles wasn't at Splash Mountain, he could have been there talking to him.
I was-
for me.
I was on holiday with my family.
Hey,
So-
I missed holiday with my family to be there. So
Family.
We were at Lake Powell,
I get it.
houseboating it up.
In Charles's defense, he gave me
Water
the dates like a
skiing.
year ago and goes,
I did.
hey, I can't make any job we do this week. And then I booked the job that week. But come on.
clever.
Can't be there for everything. It's just how it rolls sometimes.
No, it was good, though. We held it down.
It was a
That's
lot of
great.
fun.
Alex, biggest thing you took away from the event?
Biggest thing I took away. Overall, I would say I took away a lot about learning about all of these people's mindset and stuff. That was a lot of fun to me, and to see all these different views on things and to realize how people can communicate without, fighting over these little things. As a team, I realized that there's so much more that goes into these kind of conferences that we had no idea for compared to like movies and stuff. So next year we're definitely I know we're gonna step up our preparedness quite a bit, but just as a team, I learned that everybody has to do a lot more with what we had at that place, and it was a lot of work for us, I feel.
Dive into that a little bit more. Like, what do you mean by, like, we had to do a lot more?
I feel like when we went into it, we thought we would, have the 3 cameras set up and it would be very simple, you know what I mean? And we'd just go put a single camera in a room and film their breakouts because that's kind of what they asked, and then a couple B-roll, and then that was that. It quickly became apparent that that was not what they wanted, and they wanted quite a bit more from us. So I think going in with a certain mindset and level of preparedness, and then requiring quite a bit more, I think we did really good as a team.
Yeah.
It
I
was
like
fun.
that. What was your favorite moment that happened in Vegas?
Dude, aren't those supposed to stay in Vegas?
Nope.
man.
Say him.
Shoot.
Say it.
Oh, dude, this is gonna get him in trouble, though. That was just the best moment of my life. When Evan comes wandering out, dude, and he's just, "Good morning, guys." I'm like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "I've been here all day." And he walks off like nothing happened, bro. That's a core memory in my mind for the rest of my life, dude.
Little context. Evan slept in one day, was in his hotel room all night or all morning.
We thought he got murdered.
We thought he got murdered, wasn't answering anyone's call, anyone's phone or anything. It's now 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon when we
We were
started
very
at
scared.
9 a.m. And Evan just randomly shows up, just bright-eyed at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon as if it was 6 a.m. and he was there on time, completely confused and just bright-eyed, just like, "Hey guys, I've been here the whole time." I was like, "No, you haven't. You've been sleeping, Evan."
You're like literally on your phone with your wife, having her like call the police, right? Like,
I was getting in contact with
Yeah.
Evan's parents
Yeah.
to
We're like, he
start
is
that
missing.
journey, but he was there. He was found.
We located him.
We made him make up for being late.
Mm.
We left early, made him stay late.
Yeah. That was my favorite like group memory. I would say from the event, the
I was
best
like,
thing.
"That's your favorite memory, being short-handed and then
Yeah, all of us are
dropping the
stressed and
ball?"
scared.
That was so interesting. My favorite memory from the event, I would definitely say, getting to meet some of these people that I've grown up watching. Like Rob Schneider was
I was
really
about
cool.
to say, I know
He
your
was so
favorite
cool.
memory. I'll say it for you.
I tracked him down hard.
This
yeah.
kid was jumping like a little kid with like he saw Santa Claus. He's like, "Rob Schneider, Rob,
I was like,
is it
"Let me
bad
get
if
an
I go
autograph."
take a picture with him?" And I'm like, "If you want, Alex." And then he's over there. He's like, "I'm gonna go for it, dude." And like runs over there, gets the photo, comes sprinting back.
I got it.
Shows us all. He's like, "Guys, look!" And then next thing you know, within 30 seconds, it's already on his Instagram. And everywhere. And
I
he
tagged
goes,
the wrong.
yeah, he
Rob
tags the
Schneider.
wrong,
Oh, no.
wrong person. And
Text
then he
Dan
goes,
Schneider by accident.
"Do you think people think this is a fake Rob Schneider because we're in Vegas and I just found like a fake lookalike and took a photo with him?" I'm like, "Alex, you're good, bro. It's Rob Schneider."
I'm like, look at what I found.
That's funny.
No, that was definitely my favorite moment. There's a lot of people there that I didn't expect to be there
Yeah.
for
A lot of famous
that
people.
kind of a thing, you know? Like,
Kennedy.
yeah.
Ice-T.
Ice-T was a really
Ice-T.
interesting one.
Yep.
That's cool.
Dakota.
Yes, sir.
Favorite memory from the event?
Probably, I definitely have a few, right? It was a really good experience. Probably my favorite memory is because, like, I was editing, like, all day, most of the days. All 4 days, I had, like, my computer here, my laptop here, and I was editing these interviews that we were pumping out through the switcher. So after editing for, like, 10 hours or whatever, I finally get a chance to go shoot something at night. And so those, like, nighttime shots or nighttime shoot events where, like, I was kind of in charge running things and, like, getting the shots I needed were so fun to me. After, like, 12 hours of cutting, I was like, I need a camera in my hands right now. And so probably my favorite part of it was the concert specifically, because one of the things about Freedom Fest is it's a little bit older of a demographic. Most people there are like 50, 60 and above.
To explain, they started 30 years ago, and a lot of their demographic 30 years ago was 25 to 35. Now that demographic is 55 to 65 30 years later, and so it definitely has aged with the event.
Because they've been to Freedom Fest every single year
They all
as
are
they've
They
gone.
all
committed.
have.
They
There
all-
were a lot of people there that were 20 plus years deep at this event.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is your
This is
vacation.
their thing. This is their baby. They
Yeah.
love this thing.
This is your summer
right?
vacation. This is what you plan for out here. Yeah.
Right. So what was fun was that, like, concert, lots of live, loud music. I love that. That's like my favorite environment to be shooting in. I had maybe 5 or 6 people dancing. That's super fun, right? I can make that work. So I got some nice shots. But then I was like, what's the best way to get other people dancing? is for me to dance. So I just started dancing. I started jumping up and down with my camera and like dancing with the people that were in the crowd, kind of like keeping
It's
high
funny,
energy and
though, that
inviting
you're
people
saying
off
this.
of their tables and chairs to come dance with us. And the crowd grew, and I got better shots because of it.
I was like,
Nice.
it's funny you're saying this though, because I was looking through the B-roll when we've been talking with them, going through footage, and I shit you not, because Evan was there documenting some of the event as well, and there were wides from like his camera, and all of a sudden you see Dakota, like camera in hand, just like arms bouncing through people, and then he like ducked down, and he was not even filming, like he was dancing. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, he's having more fun dancing right now than he's filming, which was awesome, right? Because everyone in the room's looking at that going, this is a great energy. I want to be around this person. Absolutely love it. But, like, I'm laughing because I'm like, he's
That's
having more
awesome,
fun
dude.
dancing than he is filming.
Yeah, dude, I had a really good time.
That's
I
great.
love that kind of thing. It's the best way to set the pace for what you want to see in the footage is set it yourself. Like, be that high energy you hope for them to be.
And it makes
Yeah.
people comfortable around you. I mean, if you're that guy standing there like
Like
a log
creepy.
with a camera, creepy, kind of
Yeah.
like hiding your face behind the lens, or if you're that guy that's like, hey, come on, and you're like
Yeah.
in it with them, they're going to be more interactive with them.
Totally. Confidence is key, and I think it was like a massive thing that we learned. Like that was one thing I really tried to instill to you is like when you walk into a breakout room, like walk in there like you own the place. If you're walking around with a big 360 camera inside of a convention, like walk it like you own it because that's the best way for you to like really get the shots you need. Any lack of confidence is going to come out in the footage.
That was also freaking hilarious when Alex comes running back into our room. He goes, guys, there's like 15 union camera operators, and one was on a big jib. And like, we do some bigger stuff too, but I have a 360 camera, and I'm just running through this thing with a 30-foot pole, and this guy's looking at me like I'm an idiot. And I look at Alex and I go, you know, when we're on a movie set and there's that one guy with a GoPro in the corner, I'm like, you're that guy right now. Dude. Fuck, dude.
That is the equivalent in the scenario. But you did it really well, dude. Like I said, I've been like the 360 guy for a while and like had to do that in scenarios like luxury restaurants opening, like really high end. People are in like suits and ties, and I'm running like a selfie stick in their
This is how you
face.
do
Like
it. Learn.
it's definitely tricky, but you did really well, bro.
It was fun. I had a pole right up in front of one, and he was like, dude. And I turned around, I'm like, oh shit. And I walked away.
You put the 360 camera in front of his camera on the stage.
I'm like, that's a good shot right there. That's
Yeah,
like,
He's like, yeah, it
this
is.
is
Mind if I take it? Thanks.
He slaps your camera.
Scooter, what'd you learn, bro?
Wow.
Or what was your favorite moment? What was your best memory from the event?
I think my best memory was there was a moment I was going to the restroom or something, walking back, and I saw our whole main stage. I saw you editing, saw Alex running, saw Evan running. Everyone was in completely different scenarios, doing something differently. We had our big Happy Rabbit banner, and it
So
was like
cool.
a really cool presentation. And I sat there and I was like, we created this. Like, this wasn't anything that was like given to us. It wasn't anything that was like, go do this job. Like, we literally created it from scratch. We created this setup. We created this interview thing. Like, and to bring that there, like, it was this moment of realization. I was like, we did that. We're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
Like, that's us, kind of thing. So that was really cool. I think the biggest thing I learned was leadership and taking direction. It's harder because I'm a little younger, and a lot of people I work with, like, are call it in charge of, or like my same age, right?
Mhm.
We're great friends outside of set, and then on set, I have to be the boss. And that dynamic, I'm learning that dynamic a little bit better, but it's hard. And when we were there, like, first day, it was like, oh, buddy, and everyone, like, we were all just like friends. And then I quickly realized by like day 2, day 3, I had to start being more that like boss role and less like friend role in that scenario, as Freedom Fest was having stuff that they needed done by specific times, and I had to kind of go to the
Get
team
honest
and
for
be
it,
like,
yeah.
hey, you know, so that was cool, learning that like leadership role and that dynamic, as like Charles does with me. Obviously we're friends outside of set, but when we're on set, it's like, you know, everyone's got a job to do, and there's lanes and there's anarchy, and you just work with that. So yeah, I think taking a little bit more direction right off the bat. But overall, I'm not displeased with anything that we did.
Yeah, dude,
So
for sure.
Got it done.
got
That's
it
what
done.
counts.
Bro, before we like switch gears and talk about y'all's other movie, War Driver, I just want to talk about some of the incredible people we met at Freedom Fest. I felt like we walked away with us with like some really good friends. You know what I mean?
Michael.
Shout out Mike.
Michael, yeah, dude. Heather was fantastic.
Heather was awesome.
Michael got us into a freaking. Was it? Who was it? Deadmau5?
Dead Mouse or something. Some huge EDM artist, supposedly.
Like a pool party.
Yeah, Mike's like this big EDM guy. And so Alex is over here like,
Raver magazine.
pool party? And he's like,
Mm,
yeah, I
what?
can get you into like Dead Mouse, like whatever you want backstage, VIP lounge.
Oh my
like, just
gosh.
let me know. And then Alex is like, wait, what?
I've
Really?
been there.
I didn't believe him at first, and the next day he's like, "Here's your tickets if you want to go. This is the time." I'm like,
So Alex is talking about it all night. He's like, guys, when we wrap, we're going to go to this pool party. It's going to be the best things of our lives.
"Yep."
This is classic. Awesome, right? So fourth day comes around. Last day, we show up literally at Dunkin' Donuts that morning. He's like, I got to prepare myself for this pool party.
Tonight, bro. It's like, we're going to party.
Bro. And in my head, I knew exactly
He's already put
what
on
was-
sunscreen. He's already.
I got my swimsuit. Yeah, I'm like,
Literally, in my head, I know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm like, okay, last day, pool party. Pool party's going to happen during the day. Last day, we're going to be wrapping
We're gonna wrap
out.
out,
I was
yeah.
like, this is not going to work. But he was convinced it was.
why would
I'm
they
not
have
gonna
a
crush this
pool
little baby.
party at
I'm gonna
like
crush this little
3 in
baby
the
juice.
afternoon, bro? Who
So-
parties at 3?
It's hot.
Mike does all his
Fuck.
interviews that day. Last day, Mike comes up to us. He's like, hey, we got one more. And I see in Alex's eyes, he's like, oh, we're done after one. And in my head, I'm like, I know we're not.
He's already got his swim trunks on.
And Mike does his last interview. He's like, hey, I'm going to go change, guys. And I think Alex just thought we were on the same page as him and like leaving with him or something.
I was like, "We going, guys? We done?"
Sounds
And
good, bro.
then Mike comes back and he's got his swim trunks. Kind of same scenario with Charles. Got the Gator swim trunks on. Like
Go Splash
ready to
Mountain,
go.
bro.
He's got his glasses. Yeah, they're all
He's got-
ready.
yeah, he's like tank top on. Like we've been seeing him in a suit this
Mm-hmm,
whole week, right? So total different look. And he comes running up. He's like, "Hey, we're going. Pool party's at 1." And
I'm
you
like-
see like Alex's face just go from like just so excited for the day to like,
One.
"What, like you're leaving now to go to the pool party, and I'm here.
I'm like, why is it at 1?
I don't get to go to the pool party." You see like all the connections and dots happening in Alex's head.
Just
He, like
bullshit,
walks
dude.
away. He's so pissed.
Michael made up for it though. He said if there's anything I want here, he's like he'll find me a way in. I'm like, all right, Michael.
What a guy.
Find me a pool party, please.
No, I actually, since we're talking about him, he did make a post on Instagram, which was really cool, and I just gotta read it to the boys.
Did you tag Dakota?
Nobody followed me.
That counts.
Yeah, he followed me last week.
That counts.
He didn't tag Dakota or Evan, I think purely because he just didn't have their
I was
Instagram.
super BTS. I
Um,
was back in the I was not in his way that often.
But this is what he said. It was a selfie with us. I gotta show them,
I
bro.
don't think any of those are gonna pick that up.
We'll edit it in. It's fine. Oh.
He says, truly grateful to have met the Happy Rabbit Productions team in Vegas this week. Scooter Cooper and Adventure Outback, that's Alex,
That's me.
hooked it up all week with amazing content and video with over 27 interviews in 3 days for us. The Freedom Fest, they are one of the best production teams I have ever had a chance to work with. Work hard, play harder. Good times, boys. He got to play harder.
Yeah,
You gotta
he
play
got-
so hard, bro.
We got to work really hard. He got to go party.
That man is a legend. Dude.
He's a legend, though. He may or may not have sent us a selfie with like 20 bottles on the table at
Yeah,
the end of the pool party.
He's like, look what I got.
Cannot
And I'm
confirm or deny.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? What? He just buys a new suitcase to take all his bottles home.
I like what he said, 'cause he said like 27 interviews for him within the course of 4 days.
Mhm.
I think that's worth noting because we probably thought like 27, 30, maybe even 40 was probably going to be our interview count over the
Oh,
entire
no.
4 days, right?
So upon hire, the interview count was in anywhere between 20 and 40 interviews
Wow.
for the week.
For the whole week, amongst 2 different interviewees or interviewers, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I think total we had 87.
yeah.
So we went above double.
We
what
more than
should have
doubled
done.
our scope.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's really
That's
impressive.
good.
That's
Wow.
pretty good.
But yeah, thank you, Freedom Fest. Done. Looking forward to next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
California?
Palm Springs.
Spring.
Is that
let's
California?
go.
That's
Yeah.
California.
Yeah, that's
I
California.
don't know why. I think it's Florida for every time I hear that.
Okay,
And
I'll give you
anything
that.
called
I'll
palm?
For a second though, I was
Actually,
like,
that's
I just looked at Charles like, did he just actually say that? But I'll give you the
Sorry.
Florida thing. Palm Springs kind of sounds like Florida.
For some reason,
Like
I think
Palm
it's in
Beach.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearwater, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's where the
Um,
palms are.
We did War Driver. We did a feature film. Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy,
Crazy.
crazy. Let's just say, some feature
Why
films.
was it crazy?
I mean, I think a big part of this podcast is honesty
Totally.
and not putting a filter like the world does on everything and just being very transparent. We're like that when it comes to financials in the film industry. We're like that when it comes to the reality of getting hired. And we're going to be like that when it comes to the reality of getting fired.
Did you just come up with that?
I did.
That's pretty good.
That was really good. That was really good.
As I was doing that, I was like, this could be a reel right now. And then I was like getting caught up in my head. But
You're getting better at this. At this whole talking
my
thing. We're
God.
good.
No, we did a movie. It was awesome. Some good people
Was it?
involved. Parts of it were awesome. Some good people involved. I mean, just saying it straight how it is. Some people don't get along on sets. Some personalities don't click. Some people don't jive. Unfortunately, I think.
See, and I don't even think it's that.
Okay,
I mean, you're not wrong. Yes, sometimes.
let's just dive into it. Like, no bullshit. Like,
Yeah, so I got fired
yeah.
off the movie. I was the ACAM operator, and I was let go. And it wasn't because like I didn't get along with somebody or somebody didn't get along with me. It wasn't because there's personality conflicts or anything like that. Because
It's because you shot the whole thing in 720p, right?
yeah, I didn't hit the record button.
Yeah, yeah.
My bad. No,
Big deal.
it wasn't any of those things.
I want to hear your take.
Yeah, the honest truth is that the production company hired a DP that didn't know what he was doing. It was his first movie ever. He'd maybe done a few like super low budget commercials and some music videos. And here he is coming in to shoot a feature film with 2 cameras, and making that transition is massive, and they're completely different. If you're just shooting like ghetto shake your butt music videos to coming in to shoot a feature film, completely different ends of the spectrum as far as that stuff goes. And if you've never been on a film set before, which this person hadn't, then
On a feature film,
yeah, you don't know what
so
to do.
different,
And
yeah.
so his expectations of me were out of the scope of what my job actually is. And now if
Confirm, yes.
yeah, if you're hiring me to do a job, that's fine. If you want me to do more than that, then cool, but you better compensate me.
I was just,
Adjust
I
the
was gonna
scope.
say it.
Yeah, for that. And so what this person wanted me to do is his job.
I was about to say, here's a perfect example of that. It'd be like hiring one guy for something, and then he hires someone else to do it, but the other guy's getting paid for it.
Yeah. He wanted to sub me out for him, like, without me getting paid for doing his job. So he wanted me to do his job.
You were the interim DP.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
I should say though, because as the first, I was in charge of the camera department, and there were other things. It wasn't just Charles, but there were other things that fell down the stairs, so to speak, of what fell under the DP's role and what he should be leading the team and doing in that role or in his lane. And let's just say he was wanting to do 1/10 of his lane and divvy out the other 90%
Yeah.
to all
You
the
take
other
10%. You take 10%.
Well,
Charles
to-
takes 30.
to
Yeah.
all the other keys.
Yeah.
and then even more so to his ops.
Yeah.
As a first, and this is just pure facts, as a first, we went through 8 camera operators on this movie, 3 steady cam operators.
Three of those were Steadicam operators, and that right there is a testament to the DP doesn't know what they're doing. Like if you're going through that many people, then the operators are not the issue.
Right.
I've never been on a movie in my entire career where we've gone through maybe more than 1 or 2 ops in a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And usually the
most
ops are
how many-
leaving for their own reasons.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ops
usually it's their
leaving
choice,
because
yeah.
they have another opportunity for more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on multiple shows where the DP, especially studio shows, where the DP is the one that gets fired because that's the head of the department. And so if you're having issues with lighting or camera, whatever, the look of the show, the DP is the one that gets axed.
Like
not
the
operator.
accountability
Yeah,
falls to the
because-
DP. Totally.
Because as an operator, I'm only pointing the camera and doing what the DP tells me to do.
I'm gonna just cut through all the bullshit, and I think what happened was, and this is not to fault anyone in specific, because I'm not to say that if I weren't in that exact same position, I'd handle it differently. I hope I would, but if you're in a brand new environment, a new state, people you have no clue of, in a lane that you've never been in before, you have everything against you. Then you have a guy like Charles who comes in, who not only is a DP, but a Trinity op, has all the connections, all the people, everyone loves him on set. He comes in, and you've been told by multiple ears probably in town, or you've been told by people, oh, Charles is this, Charles is that, Charles has done this, oh, Charles has done that. So now you're like, okay, who is this guy? He comes into set, and then I'm going to be honest, you didn't like him as much because this guy didn't give us any direction, nor you could tell within the first 10 minutes by some of the vocabulary used how experienced someone is. And then we look at each other and we're like, the fuck? And so then that and that together, it's just like, he's looking at you as competition. You're looking at him as like,
Incompetent.
why am I
Yeah.
not in your position? Because
yeah.
we should switch almost.
Mm-hmm.
But I do the job that I'm hired for. Like
Yes, yes.
like I don't necessarily have to like you, but I will treat you with respect.
You can show up to work and do your fucking
And
job
I can-
without being an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to be mean to you or not going to be rude to you. Like, you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it because you hired me to do my
do it,
job,
yeah.
right?
The end.
It-
Like, I can shut my mouth, go to freaking work.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't what was happening on this movie. You were not, and I'm going to back you up on this, you were not able to just do your job.
No,
You were getting in trouble for not getting in trouble, for not doing more than your job was asking,
He wanted
and
me-
not being compensated for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he wanted me to be the DP.
Yeah, you were
And
getting
then-
blamed for things that he would get in trouble for, and he'd put them on you. And he's like, "Well, my camera guy's not doing anything." And it's like,
Yeah, and I think he had this like misunderstanding of what an ACAM operator's job actually was.
110%. Because every ACAM op that came on that movie was somewhat, by the end of the movie, it changed, but somewhat was under those same
Expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing that like, and that's when by the third, fourth operator, that's when production started realizing we fucked up. And probably shouldn't have done what we did. And to be honest, when they fired Charles, the morale of the whole entire production went down the drain.
Wow.
No, it was
Everybody
shot.
on set was like, F this.
Mhm.
And like honestly, not to toot my own horn, but like I know how to manage a team because I've been a DP and also I've been doing this for
When
for
half
20
the
years,
crew has worked for you,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and on
And
a
they
movie-
respect me.
Mm.
and then you get fired for you doing what you normally do, that's a big red flag to the crew.
Yeah. And when I'm like, honestly, dude, when I'm jumping in and I'm like, I'm the camera operator, I don't have to move and help move the dolly. I don't have to help lay dolly track.
Yeah.
I don't have to help move lights. I don't have to
You
like
don't have
help
to-
set dressing.
You
move
operate
that
the
dresser
A-cam.
out.
Yeah.
I can just stand there and like touch the camera when it's time to go, you know. But I'm a team player, and so like I do help lay dolly track. I help move set dressing and props, and like you know try to help out as much as I can. To like help the production move along, and then when production team comes up to me and says that like it doesn't seem like I want to be there, and then I'm not helping out and doing my job.
I'm sorry, it's
I'm doing
bullshit.
more than my
and it's
job.
because-
100%,
I'm
you
gonna
know?
be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's bullshit, and it's because somebody is running off and saying something that's not true and telling people above the line things that aren't true to save their own ass.
Yeah.
When it's obvious the amount of jobs you've done, the amount of feature films you've done, the amount of time you've been doing this.
The amount of people
X,
on
Y,
that
Z.
set that respect you already.
Well, and
Right.
here's the reality of what was being asked. On a union set, he would have got fired for doing the things he was.
For stepping out of his lane at all.
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
And here's what I get pissed about, because Utah and filmmaking and everyone wants to be in the union and da 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 da, right? In L.A.
Mhm.
Okay, well, guess what, motherfuckers? If we're gonna play L.A., he doesn't leave anything or touch anything besides the camera, and doesn't talk to anyone besides
the
hitting
DP.
that red button
Yeah.
and what the DP tells him.
Mhm.
The end. If we're
Yeah.
filmmakers,
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, and the story.
I'm sorry, but go to LA.
Yeah.
Go on a real film set. Join the union, people, and like look at what the reality is. Because what was asked of Charles is not even close to reality.
Yeah.
What was asked of Charles was some college filmmaking bullshit,
Yeah.
which is everyone wears 3 hats and does 3 different jobs. And because he wasn't willing to do the DP's job, he gets fired for it, and then all this shit falls back on me as the first. Obviously being partners with Charles, but not only that, everyone on set's coming to me going, what the hell happened? But then I'm having to source 8 different operators. Not only that, I have to do 8 different camera builds throughout the movie for 3 different
So everyone's got their own preferences.
Yeah. Yeah.
and all of it comes back down on me.
And what a almost despicable method of using operators as scapegoats to avoid responsibility for his own inadequacies, for his own
Well-
lack of experience. He's just like, I'm just gonna sacrifice Charles, and then sacrifice the next
Well,
guy, and
and the
sacrifice
thing
the
that
next guy,
gets me-
Yeah.
so I can stay here.
Yeah.
I may be speaking for you a little bit, but the thing that gets me is what happened to having our backs, each other's backs?
Yeah.
Why is a random person who none of us have ever worked with before coming into town and
Dividing y'all. Yeah.
all this shit when we've all done 30 plus movies together? We know how each other works. I know exactly how.
Yeah. You could build his camera with your eyes closed.
Well, tell me 30 different people on set, and I could tell you exactly how they work, if they're going to be 10 minutes early or 30 minutes early. I could tell you
Yeah.
who's going to be
Yeah.
where and what, because we've been doing it. We know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. Not happy with production, how that played out.
Yeah, the way production handled it too, and the way that they let me go also was like
Bullshit.
was not normal
Yeah.
as well.
Unprofessional.
Yeah, the UPM, like at the end of the day, the UPM came up to me, pulled me aside, and then was like, "Hey, we're gonna let you go," and I'm like,
Good one, buddy.
"Where's the DP? Where's producer?" Not just the UPM,
Yeah.
because like you know, like I said, I've been on massive studio shows. We're talking like Disney, like Netflix, like big shows.
Multi-million-dollar budgets.
Yeah, and you always the freaking
Sometimes per episode.
the head of the department that's in charge. So whether you're like hair and makeup key, whether you're the gaffer or the key grip, or you're the prop master, like whatever, you're there if somebody's getting fired.
Yeah.
You have a producer there because they're the ones that are in charge of the movie, and then you have the UPM because they're the ones that you know make sure all the
officiate
paperwork
it. Yeah.
is done. And all 3 of those people are there. And I've seen more. I've seen where you have like all 5 producers are there because it's a big deal to fire
Yeah.
somebody
I
off
was
the
gonna say,
movie.
sometimes they'll even bring in the lawyer, someone from
Yeah.
legal on the back end.
100%.
I've seen that
Seen it get
Yeah.
nasty, I'm sure.
firsthand.
Not just the UPM saying, "Sorry, dude, you're fired. Go home."
At
Like,
1 in the morning
take-
on the curb.
yeah, get
If
all
you
of
already
your-
worked your 12-hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after you work your shift.
Get
yeah.
your truckload of equipment and load it up tonight, so that way your whole crew can stay for 2 hours later after work.
And then
Like-
figure it out tomorrow for them all.
Well,
Yeah.
and then I have to show up early the next day. It's
to rebuild the
to
camera.
rebuild. So now it becomes everybody else's problem.
Because you take your stuff with you when you leave.
100%.
They
They
want
want
to
to
be-
be,
you know,
and I
I
have
as
a
the-
So now you have to
truck,
resource all
like, I
that
have
stuff.
a pickup
now
truck
I,
full
as
of
the A
equipment.
first, have
you
to
know?
resource everything that he took at 1 a.m. for
Right.
to be on set the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Was
And you did that 8
you're offering
times.
Trinity, and,
Yeah.
so,
I had
to do that
and so of
8
course they can
different
bring in another
times.
Steadicam, but that's not a Trinity.
Yeah.
Very different things.
Which
It's
the
like-
DP really didn't want a Trinity anyways,
Yeah.
and so and that's fine. That doesn't matter, but it's more the way that they went about it, because there's a lot of inexperience in production as well. But yeah, it was weird, honestly, and for me it was very like demoralizing
Totally.
because there was never an answer, like, because I said why am I getting fired,
That's what pissed me off.
Yeah, that was stupid.
and
Give
they
it to me
said
in writing, please.
yeah, and the answer that I was given was creative differences. And I'm sorry, but like
That's a non-answer.
as a camera operator, I don't do anything that's like creative, really.
Yeah.
Like, my job is to get inside the DP's head and make sure that I'm framing and doing what he tells me to do, you know? And then if I'm not doing that right, then he gets on the radio and says, "Hey, Charles, tilt up or pan right or
Make that a little faster.
yeah, or
He
whatever,
communicates what
you
he
know?
needs.
Normal-
Doesn't just abandon. Yeah.
Exactly, you
Yeah.
know. But this kid like wanted me to like literally
Pick
just
the shot, pick
do
the lens,
everything
pick the camera
and
angle, pick the motion.
understand his like
Just read his mind.
DP style.
Just read his mind. Come
But
on.
then,
Yeah.
but then, if you pick the lens, camera position, and camera motion, and you do it,
Mhm.
and then he'll get on the radio and be like, "Why isn't it here?
Or why are we not on
Why
this
did
lens?
you not tell me?"
Why are
as
you on
the
a 50, not a
DP?
35?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Why
bro,
did you not give me direction? That's your job. But
Yeah.
then, producers and director will be at monitor going, "Why does it look like this?" And then he would turn around and go, my ops are doing whatever they're doing."
Charles, man, he's out of control.
Yeah, he's blaming it on me, you know,
And,
and
it's
I'm like,
you didn't tell.
You didn't tell him what you
We
wanted.
all
you
have
needed,
radios
yeah.
on. Camera hears you, bro. You didn't tell us any of this, and we hear you telling them that we're not doing our job right.
Yeah. He can hear him throwing you
Bro.
under the bus as it's
100%.
happening.
100%.
Oh, that would
We
trigger
heard
me
him
so
throw
bad.
all of us-
100%.
He threw me under the bus so bad that I had to get the main producer who funded the entire movie, pull him aside, and tell this gentleman that I am not being treated fair. What is being asked of the DP isn't being communicated, and what he's telling you is purely not true.
Yeah.
That's how bad it got.
Dude, actually, I think I see the tire mark on your hand from when he
Yeah.
threw you under the bus. That's crazy, bro. What on earth?
So let's just say a lot of things were learned.
Yeah.
A lot of, even Charles told me, he goes, "This is going to test you in your ability how to handle politics."
Yeah.
And I agreed with that because I was tested. There were times where I made personal phone calls to people that I was asking them for advice, how to handle things, what to do, what have
Mhm.
they seen.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
sucks that Charles got fired for it,
Yeah.
but it was such a good learning experience of like what that can turn into and what that could have been.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, again, it sucks Charles got fired for it, but I am call it grateful that I was able to experience that
Totally.
without it being worse than it was.
Yeah.
I think production definitely didn't necessarily do their part with what we were telling them and what they could see, especially after like the third or fourth operator. And I feel like at the end of
Well-
the movie, it ended up almost being negligent
Mm.
with him because we almost ended up, you know, sucker punched a car. You know what I mean? At that point, like when do you guys finally realize?
Right.
Like,
When does safety concerns take over?
Yeah, and I feel like that was well before anything even happened.
I'm gonna just explain a little bit because if someone heard sucker punch a car, they may not know.
Yeah, I didn't know how much I was actually supposed to say about it.
Alex
so
did
I
not
was
go
like-
up and
You
just
can say
punch-
whatever you want.
Alex did not go up and just punch a car, but and it was not me, it was not our camera,
Mm-mm.
and it was not our team.
No.
But misleadership, miscommunication,
Inexperience.
Inexperience.
From the DP.
We say lack of clearly communicated expectations.
all put into one thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know because I was not there. I was at base camp. We were in charge of doing our electric bike and some other stuff. But yes, there was a camera that was crashed into our main car,
A picture car.
picture car, and actor.
Oh no.
Uh, is what it is. It happens. Mistakes happen. Fully. This 100% could have been avoided with clear communication, clear direction, XYZ. So yeah.
And this, I'll say this, right? We have, and I said this to the production too, right? Like we have these great people in Utah that everybody knows what they're doing, right? But because we're from Utah, we talked about this in a future podcast. We're going to talk about this. But we have all these people that know what they're doing in Utah, and they're great. But for whatever the reason, unless you're from LA or New York or wherever the hell, not Utah, then you don't know what you're doing.
Right. You're not qualified.
You're not
unless
qualified.
You're from LA.
Yeah. And you're only good if you're from not Utah. And so they bring these people in, and it's like, dudes, like, they clearly don't know what they're doing or know what they're talking about. And you might think that they have this great vision, but there's more to being a leader than just having a great vision. Yeah. And
or having a sexy Instagram.
Yeah, right. And like they did neither anyways. But but yeah, and so like this movie was just a clear cut like this is what you don't do when you're trying to make a movie. Yeah. Because there's so many things that went wrong, and honestly it all hinged around one person. Mm-hmm. You know, and it blows my mind like that even happened. Mm-hmm. Because like this person, like as the DP on this movie, they had a month of prep. Like I wish
so much time.
I wish I had like 2 weeks of prep,
paid prep days
on the movies that I've done, you know? But like Homeboy had a month of prep, and I'm like, bro, what were you doing for a month every day for, you know, what you're supposed to be doing for 12 hours a day? Like,
uploading to his Instagram.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And like, because, and here's the difference, right? I get a week of prep, and on my location scout for the movies that I've DP'd, my location scouts, dude, I'm running around, I'm taking pictures, I'm drawing.
You mean, I'm just gonna say it out for some people who may not know what goes into DP and that. You mean you're grabbing your script, you're grabbing your phone with Artemis Pro, and you're showing up to location.
Yes.
And you're looking at the script and how the scene plays out, and then you're walking around the room for 5 minutes, maybe more, and you're taking a few photos of different camera angles. So in your head, when you go back and read the script at your house and you're doing prep, you now have photos with angles. You're now in your head playing out, okay, how are we going to shoot this? Mm-hmm. All right, maybe we start with the wides. I don't really like this photo I took with this wide. Yeah. So maybe we jump out a little wider and go to the right and back 10 feet.
Yeah, you're planning your shots.
Putting this together in your head. Mm-hmm. So when we show up on the day, you go, I need a wide 35 on sticks, and then we're going to go handheld on a 50 and a 75, shoot cross coverage, flip, cross coverage, B-roll, done.
Yeah. And not only that, but you're there with the director on a location scout.
Yeah. And you're asking what they want.
And the director's telling you what they want.
And it's only you two, so you don't have all these other distractions.
Exactly. And when I do it, it's like we're in this room and we're like, and the director sits there and she's like, okay, we're going to have 4 people sitting in this configuration. I need close up, and then a wide shot.
You're telling me blocking happens before you guys actually shoot?
It does. You know, especially when you have a month of
prep.
Director, do you want to get creative and do some French overs, or do you want to keep it more standard and we'll keep cameras in front and draw the line here?
Exactly.
Whoa, we're
an
making
important conversation
decisions with nobody else around, and now when we show up on the day, we can.
And then in my prep time too. All of a sudden now I can do lighting diagrams because I took pictures and I know what the room looks like.
You know where you can get power from.
Yep. I know where power is going to be. And so now I can go to my gaffer and I can say, here's my lighting diagrams for every single scene, every single set that we're going to be on. Here's where the generator needs to go. Here's where cables can run so that they're not in the way. Here's where your carts can go and the trucks can go. And they know everything. And that's what I do in my prep.
Put that in a 3-ring binder. Put it by day. Give it to them the night before.
And I email it
the next day.
I email it out to everybody on the crew. So if you're an electrician, the bottom electrician, brand new guy, or brand new grip, or AC, utility, whatever, everybody gets that. That's on my crew. So that way everybody's informed what's going to happen. Now, obviously, things change.
Why does the second AC need that? Oh, maybe the second AC is going to take enough time in his day to look at the diagram and go, Video Village is going to be safe on this side of the room.
For the whole day.
So I
Exactly.
can put my gear over here and not move my shit 6 times.
Oh my God.
All these things stack up during the day when you don't take that preparation.
We got
And then
so
you
behind.
add all the fucking chaos, and we're moving Video Village 6 different times.
Yeah.
And the producer's pissed because he can't see what he's paying for. And then it makes us look like idiots while you're over there blaming this guy. And it's just like, we're
Yeah.
not going to do that anymore, guys.
No.
And that's one of my frustrations is it's like you have qualified people, and I'm not saying it has to be me. There's a lot of DPs in town, you know, but there's qualified people that are here in Utah that are more than talented enough to shoot your
Do the work.
artistic movie
Yeah.
and make it happen. And honestly, they deserve it. Like there's plenty of DPs in town that deserve like that opportunity.
Can we say something and we should make it a patch? I don't know the exact quote.
Little patch.
DPs can't post stills to Instagram. Still frames are not a representation of your work.
The long
Stills are for
patch.
colorists. Thank you.
It's just a little script.
Just a script patch. I'm sorry, but I'm
Just
gonna
like a
say
text
it.
message.
I'm gonna say it, and I'm done with it, and I will back it up. Whatever. My Instagram's not the best, but I'm just gonna say it out there.
Yeah, stills don't
Stills
represent.
Do not represent cinematography.
Yeah.
They do not.
Just color and
So-
composition. That's it.
So the way that you get into the ASC, the American Cinematographers Association, Associated Cinematographers, whatever, which is like that's like the highest club that you can be in as a cinematographer in the United States, and then every country has their own club for cinematographers, right? The way that they judge whether or not you can get in is by looking at whether or not you're consistent in your lighting across all of your movies, and then also across from your scenes, right? So they want to know that you can look this way and make it look one way, and then turn around and look this way, and then keep that
It's
consistent
the same
look,
world. Yeah.
right? Because it's a lot harder than you think it is.
100%.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
It shows a lot. The guy we worked with had like these setups were so long, and they were the most simple setups you would imagine, and they would take an hour and a half or something until the director was even like, "What are we doing?" And we're
He's
like,
like
"We
a
don't
booklet's like
know.
put a binder on a C-stand, right?
Yeah.
We're not doing anything." He's deciding he doesn't like that light now, and now he wants to go down another percent, and now he's going up 4%, and now he's moving it over.
And I'm gonna be honest, because there is a huge niche or skill level for commercial DPs.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is its own skill set in a sense to call it get more artsy fartsy with it. And
Yeah.
Call it like I'm gonna spend an hour dialing in this one light.
And I totally get that.
works for a commercial where like that's your main
That's the shot,
one
yeah.
slow-mo shot. Sure. But when you got a full day with 10 scenes
When you have to shoot 9 pages.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
pages to get
and
through.
you got
Yeah.
da 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 da.
Quantity, man. Quantity.
To me, can we get through our day, shoot it consistently and cinematically, not piss off your crew? That takes more skill than can I sit and adjust this one light for 6 goddamn hours and make the best still frame possible so I can post it to my Instagram and say I'm a DP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, and excuse my language, but fuck all that. That doesn't. You're not a leader. You're not getting us through our day. You're not shooting a whole movie. Cool, you like did a cool cinematic piece for, and I'm gonna be the asshole that says it. Anyone can shoot 120 cinematic, cool looking shit. Go out to the desert, throw some dust in it, have someone go slow, throw it on a Ronin or whatever. Great,
Bada
but
bing,
like,
bada boom,
can you
yeah.
get through the day and shoot a movie consistently? And like, I don't know. That's my thing, and like,
Yeah.
I learned.
With a month of prep.
And that's like what, back to what you were saying. I'm like, I asked. I remember I walked up to Scooter, and I'm like,
Wait, can I interrupt you real quick?
yeah.
When we did the rancher's insurance job, when we showed up, how long did it take us to shoot that entire commercial?
We were in and out in like 3.5,
3 or
4
4
hours.
hours, yeah.
Did I have a shot list with every shot, with every angle, with every lens?
Just boop, boop, boop,
Absolutely.
boop, boop. Yep. It was easy.
Dialed in.
Yeah, we had nothing. I remember I came up to you and I'm like, doesn't he have like time to do this before? And you're like, yeah, he had a month. And I'm like,
But if you don't know the tools, and that's another thing where if you hired a brand new an up and coming DP or cinematographer, somebody that doesn't know, like they don't know the tools,
Mhm.
and so if you hand them a tweenie and a tube light, like they don't know what the capabilities or what the differences are between those two lights, and so they have
Which
to
one uses a
figure it
key or
out.
an accent or
Yeah,
they don't-
and so there's a lot of like fidgeting and playing around, or not relying on your gaffer's knowledge either. Like
Yeah.
they, instead of saying, hey, I don't know how it works, because you don't have to know lighting, right? Like
Yeah.
I came up in G&E, and so like I know lighting, like there's no question about that because I did it for 15 years, right? But if you don't, like say you just started out in camera and you don't know lighting and that side of stuff, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
But
But you need to admit it, and then you hire a good gaffer
Yeah.
that you can rely on, and you can say, hey, and you can show them a picture and say, this is what I'm going for in this scene. Can we do it? And they go, yeah, give me 25 minutes. And then you're like, as the DP, you're like, cool. And then you turn around to your camera team and say, hey, we need the camera here, and we're doing all this stuff. And then you don't have to worry about that. But like,
And then
if you're inexperienced and you don't know how to do that, then it's like you're fidgeting and you're constantly moving stuff, and you're yelling at your gaffer, and you're like telling him to move stuff, and all the electricians and grips are running around crazy, and everything's going nuts, and lights are coming up and going down, moving around, and they're putting things back where it was 10 minutes ago, and they're getting pissed because
they're redoing.
it's 100 degrees outside and the lights are 100 degrees, and they're
Yeah.
redoing everything and laying power, and it's heavy, and
He had him literally tint the back of the house one time.
We didn't even shoot the fucking tent.
And then he's like, okay, take the tent down. And the dudes just got done putting it up. And I remember they just looked at each other and
They
they're
were
just
so
like,
fucking pissed.
yeah, and you have to think about that stuff, because you just spent 45 minutes, and it happens. It does. Like, granted, stuff happens, but
Which
like,
is fine if it happens once or twice, but when it's every day,
Right.
multiple times a day, you're gonna get real tired of it real quick.
because a lot of people don't understand that, like, grips and electricians are there, and they're artists too. Like, they're lamp operators, and they're setting this stuff up, and they
operator.
want their stuff to be seen. They want their stuff to be used in the movie, so that when they're sitting there watching the show, they're like, oh yeah, I helped light that scene. You know what I mean? And like a lot of times people don't think about that
I
as
was just about to tee off of that real quick, which is everyone is a artist, and we're all filmmakers, and everyone's there for a reason because we care. Your lighting guys care about light.
Yeah.
They study light structure. They
Yeah.
study
the
frequencies.
pattern of light fall off.
Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we
You know?
study lenses and like card and metadata and that, they study that. They care about it, and to like,
to not feature that.
well,
And
and to
or to-
not give them.
The space. To
Their
do
mo-
their
it's
shit,
not.
yeah.
It's, you're not giving them their moment. Is
and
literally,
give
you're not
them
featuring their
respect,
art. Yeah.
too. It's like trust who you're hiring, because the best advice Brent Geisler, shout out,
Shout out, Brent.
gave me was hire people, because he hired me for something and it was something he could have done, and I actually asked him, I'm like, why are you paying me for this? And he goes, because I know that you're going to shoot it better than I would, and the best thing I ever learned in the filmmaking industry is hire people better than you and watch how much faster you move up.
mm-hmm. I like
And
that.
I was like, interesting. And it makes me think about that DP. If he would have communicated with you, communicated with our lighting guys, and took your advice,
Yeah.
took the lighting guys' advice, we would have got 10x the movie 10 times as fast.
I feel like he just
100%.
constantly was too busy blaming you guys and covering your asses for his decisions. Like, he put a spotlight up on the roof of this $1 million house,
Oh my God.
And
It's
he's
so
like,
funny.
turn the light on, and he puts the light on, and he's like, no, that sucks. And then he's like, leave it. Next shot, though, spotlight's in the whole frame. And it's like, dude.
No. I
fix
want
the
to
post,
explain
it's
that a
fine.
little better. They spend 25 minutes, ladders, they get this, I forgot what it was.
It's huge.
Big, huge.
Like a Joker or something.
Maybe, but big,
No, it was
huge,
probably
like,
a 4K.
The big Ari.
Oh,
Yeah.
big circle.
It was either 4K or I think you had 9Ks.
It took three
An
guys
M90.
to get it up on the roof.
Yeah, probably an M90.
They rig it. They get power to it. They turn it on. Way too bright for the driveway. It's like
the sun.
it wasn't an accent light that you could feel it from like a porch light or something. It was like too much. So he goes, kill the light. So they're up there. We got cameras ready. They kill the light. Now we're shooting it too dark because we're just shooting it to shoot it because we don't have time to change that. We shoot it too dark. And then he's like, yeah, we're using it for the next one. Just keep it up there. Keep it up there. Boom, boom, boom. Now we go out to the wide. You see the light. We're trying to shoot. Like, we're rushing to, like, move
Just
down the
burning through the day.
driveway.
Just
Running down
get it
this
done.
curved mile-long driveway, dude.
And now we're in the wide. Everyone's down here because we're shooting up at the house. And now we see the light. And so he's like, take the light down. The 3 guys that just hauled ass to get it up there for the one shot before, now we're here, and now they have to
all the way back
run all
up
the
that
way up with their
driveway.
ladders and
Oh
shit
my
up the
gosh.
driveway, get the light down, physically run the light down the driveway, 3 guys holding it, run back up and grab their 3 ladders. They were fucking pissed. And everyone in the back of their minds walking past people going, fuck this, fuck.
Everybody was whispering under their breaths.
And that's your morale. That's your team that's making your movie.
Best day ever. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's shitty that happened. I think at the end of the day, I wish nothing but the best for the DP in his personal life and for himself.
His growth.
For sure.
Yeah.
He and I had a conversation and we ended things on good terms. But that's not an excuse for his lack of knowledge
Yes.
or for him trying to bite off more than he could chew, you know?
I think as a human, he's a great person.
Yeah, he was nice to be with.
110% would find myself drinking beers with him at a bar and hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't like how it played out in
Not gonna work with him.
work area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Important distinction.
My takeaway from the whole thing is now, you know, cause I've been doing this for so long, and where I am in my career, like I don't think that I can work with a brand new DP that's never been on a set before. And honestly, that should have been a red flag
Big
for
red
me
flag, yeah.
when I was signing, you know, when I was agreeing to do the job. And honestly, I thought it was going to be great because, you know, all of our friends are on the show.
Yeah.
And
You're
it
a
would have been
giving
fun.
person, some grace, right? Like, let's see how
For
it
sure,
goes.
for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
you
You're
know?
willing to see
I
him
mean,
out.
like, at least have done like a couple low budge independent feature films,
Yeah.
you know, kind of a thing. But yeah, this kid had never done anything before. And so I think that was my biggest takeaway from the whole experience, you know, which I can look back on it and be like, you know what, like, I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And it's not fun getting fired, and it's not fun, like, having to have those conversations with people, or honestly, like, I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad for the people that had to fire me, you know, because they're just not fun interactions or conversations or situations that you have to be in, and it sucks. And so I feel bad that even had to happen, to be honest with you. But like at the same time, like there were things that weren't handled the way that they should have been, and yeah. And so like, whatever, you know, we live and learn, and we move on to the next one.
Another dollar, another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you said.
First time, 20 something years of making movies, and that was the very first time that I've ever been fired off of a show.
JJ came up to me and he's like, I always remember this. I'm like, how you doing today, JJ? And he's like, I'm living a dream. That man's dream. But I'm living a dream. And he like walked off, and I'm like,
Solid.
Yeah.
I freaking love JJ.
and Colby, shout out Colby. I don't know if you watch these, but thank you,
Oh
Colby.
yeah, hey, let's shout out Colby real quick. Colby was a kid who came in, put himself up, did the movie for probably less than PA rate, and kicked ass as our camera utility. Never been on a real set before. He learned so much. By the last week, we weren't telling him anything.
Mhm.
It's exactly what we look for in somebody coming to Happy Rabbit, joining us on set. Just that energy.
But
and
it's
mindset.
somebody like that.
Mhm.
Like, that's what it takes.
Mhm.
You know, you just
Humility.
don't go shoot like a couple music videos with your friends and then like shoot
Expect
a commercial
to
with
be
your
on,
friends
yeah.
and then be like, I'm a DP, let's go shoot a feature film, you know, a multi-million-dollar feature film. It's that
That's
attitude.
That's the problem with half the kids that come out of college in the film.
Dude, I would even say
90% of the kids in LA.
I would even say the kids that went to college have a leg up on that DP.
Yes.
100%.
You know, because
I would argue Dakota would have had more knowledge going into that DP
Totally.
than that DP.
totally,
Yeah.
you know, but it's that attitude of like, you know what, I need to go be on a set, and like, even though I'm not going to make a crap ton of money, or it might cost me money. Like, but that's what you have to do. Like,
Oh,
if you're not going to
Colby lost
school,
money because he had to rent a car while he was out here.
Oh, wow.
I bet he lost.
He had an
money.
Airbnb.
yeah,
that he was
you know,
putting
but
himself
that's the
in.
attitude that you have to have in order to like be successful and move up. Like,
And you know what he said to us too? I was like, "Why are you here? Like, are you want to be a DP? Like, you want to be a camera? Like, what's your goal?" And this is what he said. He goes, "I have absolutely no clue what camera position or what position I want to be on set." He goes, "I know that I want to make movies, and I know that the only way I can start making movies is if I work in every camera position in every department, so I can understand what goes into making a movie." And then he goes, "Then I can look at what position I want to actually go into." He goes,
Yeah.
"I could see camera," but even he told us, he's like, "I may not be camera."
Yeah.
But the one thing I like really fucked with, and I'll hire Colby on any movie that I can get him on, is he hustles, works harder than anyone around him, and he's willing to do anyone's job just to learn,
No
to
complaining
understand.
either.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, that's something that like 99% of the film industry, possibly even myself, doesn't have.
Yeah.
Where like I really fuck with that.
It's good
And
energy.
That kid was awesome.
Honestly, that is the reason why I did Genie for so long, is because for me in my brain, like I wanted to learn how to light properly so that I could be a better cinematographer. You know, I wanted to learn all the tools that had to do with cinematography, you know, and like,
making a good
and
image.
it's so much more than that too, you know, and so, but that's why I did Genie for so long before I called myself a DP or a cinematographer, is because I wanted to learn what that square light does over there, or what a tweenie was, or a baby, you know, like I wanted to learn what all those things were, so that way I had the most knowledge I could before I called myself a DP,
Totally.
you know, and
I would argue you probably go into most situations and you can look at a room, and because of your experience there, you can know that you can rig a light there, or you know
100%.
that that's possible.
I know what I can get away with, and I
Which
know
can't.
how to get away with it, you know,
Versus like somebody who has to ask. And be like,
Exactly.
do you think we could do that?
or
You
somebody
already know.
that thinks that they know,
Or they
and
assume
don't.
they can just erase all their mistakes in post.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just paint that
Exactly.
light out.
Is there anything you think you could do differently next time, Charles, to work with a DP like that?
Ooh,
Like,
good
is
question.
there a way to?
Is there anything
adapt?
you would have changed? Or
Yeah.
like,
You know, and I've
You would've
good,
changed
good
the DP,
question.
yeah.
Good question. I've thought about it a lot, you know, because I didn't have an answer, you know, like
Right.
creative differences, like
That's
to me was a
bullshit.
bullshit answer, and
Yeah.
it didn't suffice me, you know, and so like I went away as like the really squeaky wheel as I got fired, because I wasn't really told the reason why I was fired,
Yeah.
and so I dug deep, and I probably pissed a lot of people off as I was digging to get the answer, because it wasn't fair for them to just fire me and
I think
and
that's
not give
more
me an
than
answer.
justified, though.
100%.
The way
I
you were
feel like
fired
so.
was not fair nor normal, and I'm just gonna say it as the third party. You had other producers reach out to you, letting you know that what happened and how it happened was not normal or fair.
Yeah, other producers in town
Mm-hmm.
that heard what happened called me up and apologized
On their
that.
behalf. Yeah.
for other people's behalf and the way that went down.
Wow.
Which speaks numbers. but-
Yeah, and so you know it's like I said, honestly, like I just would not take the job. You know, like I'll come and do, like if you're having me be a day player or whatever, then like cool, like we could figure it out, kind of a thing. Well, but even then, like his expectations of what a Steadicam operator was magically just supposed to know were unrealistic. Or, you know, because we were doing like no rehearsals, no time for anything, because they're always behind because he's fidgeting with lights and stuff like that. And so actually, no, there was one takeaway, and that was be more vocal about it. Like, be more vocal that, hey, unless we get rehearsals, my Steadicam shot's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's probably the other takeaway from it. But like in Utah, I've worked, you know, we all work with everybody so much, and we work with experienced people so much. Like everybody knows that if we don't do a rehearsal with a Steadicam, it's going to be garbage.
It's gonna be bad. Yeah.
Like your first take is going to be
Your
garbage.
first AC is
You
not going to
always
know
do
where
that.
the freaking actor is versus the camera.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a moving camera.
Yeah, and so it's like everybody knows that, and I haven't ever I mean, I have. It's just been, decades since I've worked with somebody that doesn't know that.
Yeah.
And so I've never had to express that before with somebody. And so, I mean, like, that's probably the takeaway
Yeah.
I like that.
from it, if anything. But yeah, like, most of the time, like, people know if I don't get a rehearsal, or first AC doesn't get a rehearsal, like, we're not going to hit it the first time.
Yeah, you better be ready for
In
a couple.
their brain, it was like, we're going to roll on the rehearsal because we're running out of time.
Oh, no.
And then everybody better hit it because we only get 2 takes, maybe. Two or
But the
three
rehearsal counts
takes.
as one of your takes.
But
So
exactly.
it's not a real rehearsal.
It's not a,
It's
it's not a
Yeah.
rehearsal.
one take. And the thing that pissed me off on that movie was, and I'm gonna call out the DP, sure, but like, if we didn't get it on the first one, they'd get upset.
And it's
You
impossible.
don't-
Imagine a director doing that to the actor.
If
Yeah.
Just imagine that,
Fuck
right?
yeah.
Like,
Right.
dude, no way. Like,
if you don't give me a rehearsal and then you get upset with me that it wasn't in focus, let alone marks,
no
fuck you.
marks. I bet you didn't even have time for marks, dude.
No.
You're like, yeah,
Never
the way
did
that was
marks,
flying.
and it's unrealistic expectations. Like,
Yeah.
I might get lucky and hit one take right on, but like, just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And in his brain,
Oh.
though, in his
And
brain,
we're
that's how it
shooting
worked.
at 1.2.
Oh my.
On old
Old
lenses.
lenses,
Rehoused
old glass.
glass.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
With the back focus,
Dude.
off.
Oh, I bet the back focus was amazing.
It changes over the course of
and
the
it
movie.
changed. Every day the back focus changed.
Just shifts a
because
little
these
further.
lenses were so old and getting bounced around in the truck. Not only did they have to, on some lenses, change within 10 feet of back focus. That's how bad some of them were off. But then by the end of the movie, they wouldn't even go to infinity or even go to close
You're doing
focus
something, yeah.
because it all was so off that nothing lined up.
There's not enough
Dang,
shims
dude.
in the world to fix that.
No, the lenses were garbage at that point.
Yeah.
They were more still, or call it commercial
Sure.
lenses
Well,
to
they're-
get your
let's-
one shot.
They're Panavision lenses.
They're Panavision
And they're rehoused.
50-year-old lenses.
Yeah, and they're soft.
They should
Like,
be in a museum.
Very
they have a
soft.
soft
Yeah.
texture
Yeah,
to
yeah.
them. They're
So
not
then-
super sharp. And
They're like film lenses.
So then during prep,
exactly, yeah.
I, on a fucking chart, look,
That chart
and
over there?
under 2.4, you were soft.
Like, it doesn't matter
2.4.
what you could do. Everything is soft.
Anything below
Yeah.
2.4.
Anything,
Oh
okay?
my gosh.
Somehow, magically, we decided that our show stops at 2. Soft under 2.4.
Everything's just.
There's
You just said
Everything's
it.
just too soft.
You-
Just a bunch-
you
everything is too soft.
just
Every
said
frame
the
is going to be just a
mathematical
hair too
equation.
soft. Yeah.
No, so yeah, at that point, that's when I called producers and called everyone into a freaking
Like, there's
table
several
room.
issues happening at the same time right now, guys.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, because I was also pulled aside and said that there were creative differences
Oh, yeah.
with the higher ups and the first AC. And as I know,
Like,
my
you pulled the
part-
focus a little too
As
creatively.
I know, my partner just got fired from the same exact thing.
Creative differences.
So what do? I go to the higher ups and I go, guys, this is what's happening.
Yeah. Vocalize it.
What did you learn from everything from working with someone like him? Because I mean, from
I learned that
being
it's
me,
okay to walk away from a job.
dude. Yes.
No,
Like,
I learned that it's
I don't know
okay
how
to
you
walk
put up
away
with
from
what
a
you
job.
did. You got shredded this movie, dude. Like I think
I've
every
never
5
been
minutes you
that
were snapped at.
disrespected in my entire
Yeah.
life. I've
Yeah.
never been that disrespected on set. Even when I was learning and doing things wrong and getting corrected.
Dude, or treated that way.
Mhm.
Like, when does a DP come up to you and tell you they can do it better, and then they try to do it, like pull focus better? They try to do it, and because you're wide open on an super old lens that's soft, they can't do it, and then get pissed and then throw the hand unit back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
What an insult.
Like, how did that person not get fired? Like, it just
Uh,
it blows my mind.
You mean like showing up on set one day in front of everybody, actors, crew, and everyone, grabbing my hand unit from me, calling in a random PA to walk in front of the camera, and we do 45 minutes of practice where he
Oh.
teaches me how to pull focus
Oh, my God.
in front of everyone. And I'm just going to say at that point, I had people reaching out to me that weren't on the set. Like,
Bro, I think I reached out to you that night.
That's
other
right.
people reaching out to me going, what the fuck's happening on set?
Wow.
Like, that's how many people we're talking outside of. and texting each other about what was happening, and then coming and trying to figure out to me if like this was really happening.
Yeah. Crazy dude.
Yeah, he was a feisty dude. He'd walk by his screen
And
like
then
for
I
no
looked
reason.
at him.
and-
I looked at him, and I think when all that went down, I go, "Just so we're aware, I'm in the union," and then I just walked away.
Wow. So thanks for joining us on our Happy Rabbit vent sesh.
Sorry, I don't. We haven't even
good
talked
one.
about this.
Yeah.
We've been gone. Charles has been at the water parks.
Charles been having
swimming.
fun.
It's summertime.
He needs it, man. Come on, he's had a rough shoot. Come on, give him a break.
No, but a little venti, but I think this stuff is good to talk about. It's good to communicate it.
I think so because
It's dangerous when things stay silent. It's
exactly.
dangerous
Like
people
when we don't
talk.
talk about this stuff, like how are you gonna learn?
It says
You
it's
know what I
okay
mean?
if it stays silent.
Yeah, as an audience member, like how are you gonna learn like when you get into a tough situation or if you do get fired or whatever, and maybe this is something that we continue on in the future.
Totally.
Leave us some comments. If that's something that you guys would like to learn more about, like about what happens after that or what I did after that, to like help mitigate things or whatnot.
Because ultimately, if you guys can learn from our mistakes, we did you a favor.
Exactly.
And that's what we want to do here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can learn anything, take away anything that helps you just in one scenario on set, then I think this was worth listening to.
Totally.
Absolutely. So thank you for tuning in, guys. This has been an awesome episode, and we cannot wait for you guys to watch what we've got cooking up.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
subscribe, send Charles some love messages to make him feel better.
And some floaties for the pool.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Peace out.